Hello, and welcome to Narrative Notions, a podcast where we talk about movies, books, TV shows, all things media. All opinions are our own. We apologize for nothing. Hashtag dead dove do not eat. I am Bianca. No. You know what? I will be Bianca today. How are you doing? That is
This
Bianca
is
slash,
Bethany.
yeah. Um, and today we are going to be reading Am I the Asshole threads because that's what we do best, judge people for their decisions.
Yes.
Yeah. But
I so
oh,
updates on currently reading and watching. I've had a lot of things happen this week. So, currently reading, and I am looking at my phone. Um, Still Air of Fire, still Ignite Me, still A Little Life. I'm waiting for that to come from the library. We've had updates, a lot of updates on my hold from the library. I'm now 58th in line. I started at 80th, so I have 7 weeks left. And for Fourth Wing, I am 122nd in line, and I started at 266. So it says I have 3 weeks left until it comes through. And I am now almost done with a book called Whispers of the Deep by Emma Hamm, and it's about mermaids and science. It's a sci-fi book.
hmm.
The main character is she's an engineer, and humans live in underwater glass cities because the surface world has become volcanoes and hurricanes and tornadoes, and the world is ending. And they learn that deep down in the dark depths of the water in the ocean, there are mermaids. They're called undines. Um, and they hate humans and they try to kill him, and then she gets kidnapped by one, and now he's fallen in love with her, and now we're gonna learn how that's gonna work. And I started this book called Demure by Hope E. Davis, and it is an arc from the website Book Sirens. And if I remember correctly, it has something to do with Ireland and Fae and an enemies to lovers something or other. I think the only book that I have finished since the last episode was What Did You Do? And it was ass by Jeneane O'Reilly. It was ass. I gave it 3 stars. I was very disappointed. The end was messy. So we talked about Priory of the Orange Tree last episode and how it was like 700 pages and then a 20-page wrap up. This literally, it's like everything completely derailed in the last 100 pages, and then the last like 20, the two main dude characters were like fighting over the main female character like they were literal teenage boys. And it was so ridiculous.
Mm.
I don't know what happened. It it felt like the author just slapped it together and was like, "Yeah, you know what? This is good. This is good. I'm just going to put this out." There were so many spelling errors, so many grammatical errors. I understand that it's indie published, but dude, come on. Did you not edit it at all? I'm not going to completely bash it because I did love, 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 love the first book, but the second one was such a letdown. Um, I think that's the only book I've finished in the last week or so. And yes, currently watching, I finished Physical 100. I'm watching the Korean drama for Parasite the Grey. Bethany, have you seen the anime Parasite?
Yes.
I loved it. This adaptation is very interesting. I'm like 3 episodes into it. I really, really like it. Korea does good horror. Their horror is unmatched. Train to Busan. Stop it. The show Sweet Home. I I love their horror. And I also did in fact start Has Been Hotel. I'm I think I'm on episode 7. I love it. I think it's hilarious. I think the music is awesome. It's like a musical show. It is extremely, extremely, extremely sexual. Everything is sexual. It is all sexual. There is so much cussing. I love it. It's great. Everyone on the internet warns you. They're like, all right, episode 4 kind of hurts. And I was like, oh, well, I've seen like bits and pieces of it on TikTok. I was not prepared, but it's fine. I love the art style. I think it's really awesome. I think you would enjoy it. Just don't watch it around your parents. My God. My God, they're talking about sex toys and fucking up the ass and everything. And I'm just like, okay.
All right, interesting. So there has been a slight update to my currently reading list. Um, and by update, I mean I have actually changed a rating on a book, which I don't usually do. Um, so I read and finished Prisoner's Throne, which is the second book in the Stolen Heir duology by Holly Black, which is the spinoff of The Cruel Prince. And I finished it in like 2 days. And I changed the Stolen Heir from 4 stars to 3 stars because after reading Prisoner's Throne, I gave Prisoner's Throne 4 stars because it's significantly better to me. I enjoyed it quite a bit more. And I think one of the biggest reasons why is because Jude and Carden, for one, they are scattered throughout the book. They show up repeatedly and it's great. But also I expected both books to be in Oak's perspective, but the first one wasn't. It was in Ren's perspective. And I liked Ren, but I didn't like her enough to like like her as much as I like Jude, you know? Um, Oak, much more of an entertaining narrator. So I changed the rating for both or for Stolen Air. Another big thing I've noticed was there wasn't a lot of action actually happening in the Stolen Air compared to Prisoner's Throne. Prisoner's Throne, because it takes place from Oak's perspective, Oak obviously grew up with Jude and Carden, so he has their personalities. So he's a flirt like Carden, and he's a bit of a doer like Jude. So he does a whole bunch of stuff. There's a lot of stuff happening. Um, and we get to see his relationship with Jude and Carden now that he's older. But in Stolen Air, it kind of just there wasn't much that was happening. It was kind of boring compared to Prisoner's Throne. Did I still like it? Yes. Do I recommend people read it? Sure. But I would recommend people read Prisoner's Throne more, but you would need to read the first one to get to Prisoner's Throne. Luckily, they're not that long though, so you can get through it. Um, Currently watching, I am rewatching Heartstopper because it's a comfort show and I just need something predictable and something cute at the moment. I don't know. I'm not in the mood to watch anything new really. But I am also watching the Japanese version of Boys Over Flowers, which will be an upcoming episode. I will be doing a deep dive on all of the different versions because I have a lot to say about all of them. I love this show, so I will be watching all of the adaptations and we will be talking about it. I will be talking about it, and Bianca will be listening and putting in her commentary as we go. So,
I've only seen the Korean adaptation of Boys of
yes.
the Flowers. So I don't know about any of the others. So she's going to teach me all about them.
Yep. And we're going to talk about the differences and where some of them went amazing and where one in particular kind of fell off and probably shouldn't really be considered Boys Over Flowers.
Yep.
All right.
So we are going to be reading some Am I the Asshole stories. And we found ones, hopefully, we have different ones from each other. Also, you will notice that I am currently crocheting. I doubt that she'll see this episode before her birthday, but I am making a bag for one of my friends for her birthday. I am going to show a picture for our friends. Oh, you cannot see that. There you go. For our
Cute.
friends on Spotify, it is like I'm not going to do the base colors blue. I'm doing the base colors black, but it's like a daisy bag for her birthday.
Cute.
And I have one of the squares made so far. So they're granny squares and they are daisies. Man, there we go. My lighting is always terrible. You'll also notice that my lighting is different because I decided to try the top light instead of the light on the side of my face that makes me look like a ghost. I'm very pale, so it's not hard to do that. But yes, we're going to be reading our Am I the Asshole stories. Hopefully we don't have the same ones. We did not tell each other which ones we had, though I did say we should have, like, tell each other our keywords. And she said some of hers are kind of generic,
Yeah,
but it's fine. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Would you like to go first?
I can,
Go for it.
since you're busy over there. All right. So this first one is, am I the asshole for not telling my children I don't love them?
For not telling my children I don't love them.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So I 20 female, 27 female, am a mother of two, 13 male and 11 female, who came from a pretty idealistic background in the middle class. Obviously, as the age of my children would suggest, I had a pregnancy situation really early in life. Oh, okay. The lack of punctuation. Decided fairly quickly on keeping it. Me and my boyfriend slash husband, 27 male, are generally happy going into things. Relationship has been good, and really from the outside looking in, we look kind of like the perfect family. That is, except that I have never felt or desired any love towards my children. It it isn't that I wish badly of them. It isn't even that I don't want to love them. It's that I know deep down I wouldn't care if they lived or died. I don't even think I could fake a cry if it happened. With that said, I try very hard to give them the best lives they can have, going through the motions and even going as far as to attempt to be a mom that can actively make them happy slash take good care of them. But no matter how many times they tell me they love me or have cute moments or special moments, I feel nothing. I actually feel more for my long dead family pets growing up than I have for them. With that said, I haven't really discussed things with my husband or kids due to the fear of ruining what amounts to the status quo. For the record, I am a stay-at-home mom. My husband works full-time at a law firm, so while busy, we are not in financial duress. Is it best to be honest at some point? I feel sort of guilt saying I love you back. Um, like I'm a liar or a cruel being, like I'm unfit to be a mother despite trying my best. I can't say I want to love them, but I'm definitely don't hate them either. It's like looking at a stranger despite them being my children. They bring me no joy when they succeed, and while I attempt to express my best attempts at what could be expected of a mother and in fact go above and beyond expectations in my charade, it is at the end of the day just that. I do not love them. I've never loved them deep down. I know I cannot and will not, no matter how much time passes. Am I the asshole for not telling them?
Okay. Um, well, okay, let's look at this objectively. Uh, there can be two sides here, obviously.
Mhm.
Are you the asshole for not loving your kids? Yes and no. Yes and no. Okay. That really sucks. That's really terrible that you literally don't care if your kids live or die.
Yeah.
That is awful. However, this sounds like something mental illness wise, and
Yeah.
it sounds like the most extreme form of postpartum depression. So she said she's 28, they're 13. She had these babies at 15 years old. So she probably experienced some trauma with that, having babies so early. So she feels no attachment towards them. But it also kind of sounds like she might be like a sociopath. And
Yeah.
but then also to say like she has feelings for like her childhood animals that have passed. You care more about your childhood animals than you do about your living, breathing children. I get being, I don't know, resentful because you had babies young or, not really knowing what to do with them. But to literally, after 13 years, feel absolutely not an ounce of love for these children is crazy to me. And it sounds like you need to go to therapy. Now, are you the asshole for not telling them?
I don't think so because
I
if you
don't think
tell them,
so.
it's
Don't
going
tell
to
your
break their
kids you
heart.
don't love
No,
them.
no,
Don't fucking do that.
that's going to destroy them.
Like, you can feel that. And does it really fucking suck that you feel that? Yeah. What the hell? But no, don't tell them. I understand feeling guilty. But no, that is literally going to break their hearts. That's going to ruin everything. That's going to ruin everything. Oh my God, you don't love your children. To feel not an ounce of emotion for them at all is what a sad existence. I am someone that does not want children, but if I were to have kids,
At
I,
some point, for some reason.
for some reason, I would love my kids.
Yeah.
Or maybe I would be resentful because I'm like, oh my God, I didn't want kids. I don't know. But to not feel any emotion at all is not normal. That's not normal. And something needs to be done. That's weird.
Yeah. And, that's the general consensus from everyone else. They're all saying, like, no, you're not the asshole, but please don't tell your children that because
Oh,
it'll ruin them. Because that would scar them for life.
yeah, my mom doesn't love me. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I just, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I love my childhood pets that died more than my own kids. Wow, I feel no joy at any of their achievements. Like,
Yeah.
damn. That's that's crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Oh my God.
Okay, so I really kicked that off with a banger. What's yours?
Am I the asshole for being a deadbeat parent to my older son? So apparently this is like kind of a series because this person has posted other things and people in the comments are like, ooh. So, some background. My ex had been fighting for custody since 2020 and is still going. He finally managed to get my older son living with him, and because the courts kept my younger son with me, we now only see the other child every other weekend so the boys can spend weekends together. I filed for child support, but because we make around the same, it was set at zero with us splitting medical costs and him covering insurance. Also, my friend Diana, she said, oh, dang, am I going to make the cut in your episode because I'm texting you? She wants to be mentioned. Hi, Diana. She will listen to this. So, before, when both kids lived with me primarily, I paid for everything for them medical, extracurriculars, etc. My ex paid my rent and phone bill and paid for stuff for the kids separate from me. He, however, decided he didn't owe any support anymore when the custody became 50-50, even though it's his job as a father to support his family. Okay? Now that my older son is with him, he constantly hounds me for money that I can't afford because I work part time now and have a baby with my new partner to take care of. I also pay for my younger son in parentheses, clothes, food, haircuts, school supplies, doctor's visits, and never ask him for anything for him. He feels that because he still pays on his own side, the grammar doesn't make sense. I'm ad-libbing here. For clothing and shoes for my younger son, that I am a deadbeat for not providing for my older son. In parentheses, I do still pay for half my older son's braces, which is like $100 a month, and for birthday / Christmas gifts, and got him a backpack for school. Wow, a backpack. Some things my ex keeps asking for. Half of my son's contact lens fees, half of copays for medical procedures, money for his extracurriculars, which are, in caps, optional and cost way too much, half of school field trip fees. I keep telling him I don't have the money, and now he is heavily implying I don't care about my older son, and that my older son is way more expensive than my younger son, so me not contributing to his expenses is basically deadbeat status. The most hurtful thing he said is that my kid's stepmom provides more for my older son than I do because I won't step up, which is terrible and unfair because she makes way more money as it is. So am I wrong for refusing?
That's very complicated. Because, I mean, so you said that the child support was set at 0.
Yes, because they have
Okay.
50-50 custody, and she feels that he should still be doing child support because it's his job as the father.
Yeah, you're the asshole.
And
That's really okay. You have 50-50 custody, and the child support is set at 0. But even if it is his duty as the father of the family or whatever, the two of you are not together. So his only obligation would be his kids. But since he doesn't really have custody of the youngest son, then I, huh?
and she's like, "Oh, I can't afford this stuff because now I have a new baby with my new partner." What's that got to do with him? That
Yeah.
ain't got shit to do with him. So people in the comments, they like brought up other posts that this person has posted, and
Mhm.
apparently this person has like hella parenting problems and just goes all over Reddit and
Oh.
is just creating issues with their kids. Apparently, she grounded one of their kids for a bad grade, and it's like a whole saga. She has 3 different accounts.
Oh. You know
I
what? For having 3 separate accounts and knowing that you should probably have 3 separate accounts to post about your terrible choices as a parent, asshole.
I someone in the comments said, "You're the asshole. Why does him being a male make him more responsible for being the financial provider?" It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's sadly funny because you sound just like many men I've talked to. Just because you chose to have another kid, it doesn't give you an excuse for taking care of your older kids. Your kids didn't ask you to have another baby. They shouldn't have to pay for it. Bench.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. There's no way around that. Is there anyone who disagreed?
let's see. You're the asshole, you're the asshole, you're the asshole, you're. Someone asked, like, what has the court ordered? This post doesn't make any sense to me, blah, blah, blah. I don't think anyone actually disagreed. Oh man, this one person went absolutely in on it. Oh my god. This one person said, "You're the asshole. For the love of all that is holy," in all caps, stop having children. You are not good at it.
I
I,
love that.
oh my god. Apparently she was like talking in the comments Someone said, "How can you afford a PlayStation 5 but not any of these expenses?"
Ooh.
Oopsies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
there's
see, okay.
nobody that disagrees with
Yeah.
you're the asshole.
There is something that kind of stood out to me. It was the expenses of like his extracurricular activities. If like
In all caps, optional.
optional. So like I don't know how custody agreements work. Um, but it I would assume, actually I'm not going to assume that because like just based off the post, I'm going to assume that they don't love their child. But if your oldest kid has extracurricular activities, wouldn't you offer to pay that anyway?
Like, don't
Because
you
they're
want
your
your
kid,
child to be happy?
right? Clearly not.
You suck. You're the asshole. You suck.
Terrible. Bad.
How could you suck like this? You suck.
Stop having kids. You're terrible at it.
Like, stop it.
Stop it.
You're gonna hurt her feelings. Keep going, keep going.
And you
Write
know
that
what?
down, write that down.
And you know what? Some people deserve to be told that because they really do suck as parents. It's like the internet always says, because it's not my quote, it's the internet's. But every child deserves a parent, but not every parent deserves a child. So, yeah,
Some people don't need to be parents.
no,
No, no,
absolutely not.
no, no. You're terrible.
Am I the asshole for telling my mom mm, I couldn't care less about her boyfriend? No, for her and her boyfriend's feelings.
Okay.
Okay. So, uh, 17F, mom is 34F, her boyfriend is in his 50s. To start off, I've been supplying for myself since I was 14. I plan on going to the military just to get away from my mom. You can check out my post history to see how crazy he is. He kicked us out 3 years ago and he raised his hand to my mom, but she still wants to marry him. Fast forward to today. As I said, I supply for myself. I bought me a home run in pizza, a specific pizza I bought no one eats. But I guess him and he does not live here. He visited today and I was making the pizza. My brother said he wanted some, so I gave him 3 slices and I took the remaining four. My mom decides I'm rude for not offering him my pizza, which is when I said what the title is. He didn't mention anything. He just continued to stare at the TV. If he wanted some, he could have asked. She also expects me to speak to him every given second, although I do not like him. Am I the asshole for not offering him some pizza?
No,
Yeah, no.
no. So, first of all, I immediately noticed that there is a large age gap.
Yep.
So, the mom, she's 34, right?
Yes.
And the boyfriend is in his 50s. Uh-huh.
Yes.
So, they're both consenting adults. You know, you're going to do what you want, but also, ew, he's in his 50s. And also, he puts his hands on your mom and she still wants to marry him. Now, there are some people that have low self-esteem and they think that that's okay and they deserve it and whatever, blah, 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 blah. But girl, but also, you ain't my daddy. You trying to kick me out of my own damn house? You don't live here. And you want me to give you my fucking pizza? Hell no, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna give you my pizza. Who do you think you are? And for the mom to be like, he's upset you didn't give him any pizza. He can tell me to my face that he's upset I didn't give me any of my fucking pizza.
Yeah.
It's my fucking pizza. He didn't say anything, so obviously you would assume that he's not upset.
Yeah.
He didn't say nothing.
One of the comments, it doesn't really have anything to do with the post, but it says, I only have one question. What sort of monster slices a pizza into 7 slices and not eight? Because she said that she gave three to her brother and she took the last four. And she was like, I was hungry. As her
Well,
response.
you know, you,
How do you manage to do that? How do you cut it into 7 pieces? What does that look like?
I Have you seen on TikTok the like little trend thing with the filter where you have to cut a circle into 7 pieces with 3 slices? Have you
Yeah.
seen that?
Hmm.
And no one can ever get it right. I don't know if
I
I could get it right.
No.
I'm
I think I
stupid.
saw I think I saw one person do it, but it was one of those ones that had like 0 views, 0 likes and all that. So I was like, but
It's more entertaining when they fail
yeah,
because we like watching people's downfalls.
it is fun watching people
Failures.
fail.
But like in a regular pizza, I don't understand how you would make it into 7 slices. She probably just had like one big, huge monster slice or something. But either
Yeah.
way, she didn't leave him no pizza, and he don't deserve no pizza.
Yeah. And it was her money. She bought the pizza
It's her
herself.
damn
So
money.
yeah.
It's
And she
my
said that
pizza.
her brother asked, and she said that if he wanted some pizza, he could have asked. So,
Her brother
I
asked,
mean,
why can't he ask?
yeah. So there's a chance, a sliver of a chance, like maybe like 0.01% of a chance that she would have shared his pizza if he had asked. But I doubt it. I wouldn't share my pizza with him either.
No. You hit
Don't
my
touch my
mom, you're
pizza.
not getting no damn pizza. Get out of my
Yeah.
house. Girl, I'm so glad that you are almost 18. Get out of that
Yeah.
house, you can have all the damn pizza you want. Asshole. Not her, him.
Yeah.
All right. My next one is, all right. This one is mostly short. Am I the asshole? And this is from yesterday. My other
Oh.
one was 86 days ago.
Mm.
I went all over the place. I was like, let me go for some that are like controversial of all time, top of all time, controversial, and top of like the last couple of days. So this one is from yesterday. Am I the asshole for telling my brother that he's going to be a shit dad? What are our bets? What do you think? Before you read it, what do you think?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay. Okay. I, 30 male, was at my brother's 34 male house when my sister-in-law, 31 female, went into labor. They live in the countryside, so the signal isn't too great sometimes unless they walk up the lane. So my brother was supposed to take her to the hospital. There's also no fucking punctuation in this.
Hmm.
So my brother was supposed to take her to the hospital instead of calling an ambulance, but for some fucking reason, he decided to freak out and drive off somewhere. I can't drive, so I ran up the lane to call 999. Where we are in America, so it's 911. I think 999 is Australia, but I could
I think so.
absolutely be wrong. I could be wrong. Um, or maybe England.
It's one of the two.
Based on some of the language in this. I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. I can't drive, so I ran up the lane to call 999. It took forever to get signal, and then it took forever for the ambulance to get to the house. I almost had to deliver the baby for fuck's sake. She ended up giving birth in the back of an ambulance. This whole time, my brother had just disappeared. He finally turned up at the hospital about 8 hours after he disappeared. Apparently, he'd gone to our dad's house until he found out my sister in law gave birth, and I made my brother go see her. I yelled at him outside the hospital for being so fucking stupid. He told me that he just got scared and didn't know what to do. I told him that he's going to be a shit dad if he keeps reacting like this. What's he going to do when the kid gets injured and it's his responsibility to take him to, it says A&E, that sounds like a term in Australia, but the emergency room for everyone else. Is he just going to dump the kid and run off to dad's again? He's such an idiot, fucking hell. He started crying and called me a twat for being so mean to him. I just lost it with him. He was acting like a child when he should be comforting his fucking wife. There's a lot of cussing and this is fun. And apologizing to her for being a dick. He called me a cunt and told me that I don't understand what he's feeling. I get that he was scared, but he seriously needs to get a grip and help his wife. Am I the asshole?
That was a roller coaster. No, my my original opinion still stands.
The unanimous decision is that he's not the asshole.
Mm.
Uh, yes, I had to go back. I'm like, are you a man? So, uh, oh my gosh. Someone in the comments said they had a birth plan that said, due to the area where they live, he's meant to drive her to the hospital instead of waiting ages for signal and an ambulance. Instead, he just ran away and left you and his wife to handle the situation. Not only was it disrespectful, it was a complete disregard of her safety. What if there had been birth complications? What if you couldn't find signal? What if the ambulance took longer to arrive? He didn't consider anyone but himself. He's selfish. Since she gave birth in the ambulance, I can also imagine that she had been in labor for a while already, which makes the situation so much worse. You weren't being mean. You gave him a wake up call. If he was truly scared, there was no need for him to be gone for 8 hours. I'm so glad everything went okay. You're a good in law, not the asshole. Someone else said, I get that becoming a parent is a huge thing, that even if you think you're ready, you'll never truly be. But he just fucking disappeared for 8 hours while his wife was in labor. What if there were complications? What if you weren't home in the moment she went into labor? He needs to get his shit together and seek therapy if his response to stress is run away, leaving his wife in a potentially harmful situation, and she needs to rethink their relationship if he does not. Literally, like, what are you thinking? I get being scared. I really do. Like, being a parent is like, holy shit, I never want to do that. But you signed up for this.
Yeah.
You got her pregnant. Y'all are married. You had a birth plan. You were supposed to drive her. You literally left her.
Yeah.
And then you wonder why everyone's mad at you. What if the ambulance never came and she just had the baby at home? Motherfucker, I would divorce you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
If, ah,
And even if you are scared, why is your first reaction to leave? If your wife is in labor and you're scared,
let me run for the
drive
hills.
drive her to the hospital. What I
He sucks. You're,
yeah,
wow.
men are frustrating.
But OP, you do not suck. You are
No,
not the asshole.
no,
We stand
absolutely
with
not.
you. You called him a twat. He called you a cunt. I'd be like, all right, them's fighting words.
Oh yeah, would have been
Have I told
swinging.
you? Have I told you that? So, my mom's trigger word is cunt. Mine is
Mhm.
bitch. You call me a bitch. There was an instance in middle school. This was the only time that this happened, but there was an instance in middle school. And I don't think that Bethany was present for it. I think we were in different classes, but I had a boy sitting across the cafeteria table from me who called me a bitch, and I literally vaulted my ass over the table and knocked him to the ground. For my mom is infinitely more badass than I am. For my
Oh
mom,
yeah,
her uncle, when she was like 16, he called her a cunt because he was drunk, whatever. And she grabbed a beer bottle, she broke it off, and proceeded to chase him around trying to stab him. My mom is so cool.
good for her. I love her. I love your
My
mom.
mom is
Tell her I
so
say
cool.
hi.
My mom absolutely adores Bethany. She says that she is her second daughter.
Yeah, I love her mom. Mom's great. I also call her mom, so you know. Am I the asshole for not wanting to hang out with my best friend at the moment? Okay. My best friend and I have been friends for over 15 years. We both love each other and view each other as sisters. She and I
Uh-huh.
have very different personalities. She battles
Uh-huh.
with social anxiety, so she has had a hard time doing things for herself. I would always step in to help and or do it for her. Lately, she has gotten better and takes herself out to do the things she enjoys. We are in our mid 20s and she is now barely getting things accomplished. Her license, going to school, considering looking for a job, etc. I told her to I try to be as understanding as possible regarding her life situation so I don't criticize too harshly. I try to encourage her as much as I can, but after a while, I'm not her mother. I can't tell her to do something she doesn't want to. It comes down to her being scared or unsure of what to do with herself. Ever since her current relationship has been unstable, she has been wanting to hang out with me often. I'm a full time student. I work part time in a restaurant. I dance and I try to travel as much as I can. I'm on the introverted side and I barely have any time for myself. I have a dog, responsibilities, and bills to pay. I'm the type of person who loves being alone. I love doing my own thing and not speaking to anyone. My boyfriend and I live together, so I spend a lot of my time and energy on us. That's why I try to do activities that make me happy so I don't lose who I am. But if I were to look at my schedule and I have about one full day off for myself, I am tired. I don't mind hanging out with friends, but I need to plan things, which we try to do, but I'm always the one who ends up planning everything. I suggest what to do, where to go, and when. Granted, I have a busy schedule, but I am tired of planning everything all the time. If I don't plan something, she gets upset that I don't see her, but when I do try to plan adventurous things for more than 50% of the time, she doesn't want to go because she's uncomfortable. She has gotten better about it, so I give her grace, but she wants to hang out the majority of the day. I don't have a whole day to just sit and talk about problems. It sounds really bad because our friendship isn't a waste, but I have homework due every day, and if I can't pick up a shift at work, I try because I do have to pay for rent, insurance, my hobbies, etc. She has been extremely sad and anxious lately, so I try to give her emotional support, but honestly, it's exhausting. She has always been there for me, and I am always there for her, but I don't know how many more times I can try to steer her in the right direction. I've recommended my therapist to her many times, and I don't think she has gone yet because she doesn't know if it'll work. I feel like an asshole because I need space from her because the only time I have to myself is barely even anything, and I want to be as happy, peaceful, and productive as possible. With her, I take on her problems and energy, and in the end, I'm left frustrated, sad, and drained. Am I the asshole? Um, she or OP has offered a following explanation as to why they think they might be the asshole. I haven't been consistent in making plans with her, and frankly, I don't want to. I have been doing my best to be supportive, but does me not wanting to hang out when she needs emotional support make me the asshole? She has gotten mad at me for doing my own thing and not hanging out with her for a few hours, but it's never a few hours. It's all day. I feel a big responsibility and me wanting to not be there makes me feel like an ass.
No. And what what was the consensus? What did people say?
A lot of people are saying not the asshole. Um, Two of the bigger comments say, I understand you feeling guilty, but ultimately it's not helping her to baby her. You do you, live your life, you're not her keeper. And another one says, you're very close, you care about her, and that's nice, but she needs professional help. And you, although you probably help her a lot, are not a professional. She needs to let herself be helped, otherwise, she'll never get better.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree with
so
that.
that's
I get it. I've been
mhm.
kind of on both sides of that. Once upon a
Yeah,
time, I had really bad social anxiety. I really hated going out, and things were scary. Okay.
yeah,
I It took me a while to figure out my stuff too because I was very sheltered as a teenager because I was homeschooled. So I didn't really know what I was doing when I became an adult. And really, I didn't start doing things for myself until I met Matt. We met when I was 19. I'm now 25. We've been together a long time. And he really helped me blossom into who I am, but he wanted me to, kind of figure out my journey on my own. So obviously he's not babying me. So I don't think obviously she should not be responsible for babying and like mothering this person and
Yeah.
getting her through everything. Like that's not her job. That's not her responsibility. And I don't think it's fair that this person expects all of this from her. But I do get that she's like, oh, I'm insecure. You know, maybe she doesn't have a whole lot of friends. She's like introverted and she's got anxiety. She needs to go to therapy. She needs to get that figured out. And I don't think that OP is the asshole at all.
Yeah.
Now, we have also had a friend who is like that,
Yeah.
who we are no longer friends with,
Mhm.
who
Yeah.
literally like we could not do things by ourselves. We could not go and do things together. It would be a whole huge blow up fight.
Yeah. We could not exist without her. And it was exhausting. So it really is. And it's not your responsibility to fix people and help them with their mental stuff. You can help as much as you want, but or you can try to help, but if someone doesn't want help, they're not going to let you help them. Um, and it's just at the end of the day, it's just very emotionally draining and exhausting for the other person who's doing their best to help, but
Mhm.
can't actually do anything. So, not the asshole. I get both sides, but still it's not your responsibility.
It's also not fair to expect so much out of this person when you're not giving 50-50.
Yeah.
And she's doing most of the everything labor, not even just like emotional labor, but like setting up plans and everything.
Yeah.
No, definitely not the asshole. I would understand if you didn't want to be around him. And this is also coming from me. I cut people off, no problem. I have literally stopped talking to several friends because they pissed me off with the friend that we were previously friends with. I just ghosted her. And then Bethany had to explain why I stopped talking to her.
Yeah.
So I was
But
like,
she
yeah, no,
wouldn't
I'm going to hurt her
she
feelings.
she wouldn't stop in the group chat. So I had to make her stop.
So yeah, I have cut off multiple people. If I don't like you, I don't like you. And I like protecting my peace and protecting my time. And if I feel like you are not productive to my time and you make me feel bad about myself or like things like that, or you know, you don't respect my time and my feelings, then I'm going to cut you off. So I
Yeah.
had that happen with another friend who it had been like rocky for a while. And then the straw that broke the camel's back was when my childhood dog died. And this person had previously lived with me. So she knew this dog. My childhood dog died and then told her that he died. And it took her a full week to say anything to me. So I was like, I'm, you're
Yeah.
not worth my
And
time because
a
what
big
the
part of
fuck?
it, yeah, a big part of it, and not just the friendship itself, but like all relationships, you have to talk to each other. If you can't communicate with your friend, or if your friend doesn't let you communicate with them and tell them why, like, hey, I don't want to be around you right now because you are exhausting at the moment because of all your shit that you're dealing with and you're making me deal with, then I I don't I don't really see a point. I don't see why you're still there. Y'all got to talk. Y'all got to communicate. That's how friendships and all relationships are maintained. Because if you don't talk to each other, you're just gonna burn out, and that's not good for anyone.
Like both Bethany and I are introverted. Once upon a time, you were more extroverted than me. I think I am now more extroverted than you, which is very interesting how that has changed. But
Mhm.
we are both, for the most part, introverted and we like to do our own thing. We like to stay home and read or like watch
We're very
shows.
satisfied.
Yes,
So,
easily pleased. I don't need a whole lot to be entertained. And, sometimes we just hang out with each other and scroll on TikTok and show each other
yeah,
TikToks. Like if she's staying at my
yeah.
house when she visits from Tennessee, or, this week we had like a Zoom movie date. And I do most of the talking because I commentate throughout the whole movie. Some
Mhm.
people find it really annoying. I think she finds it entertaining. She hasn't tried to kill me yet. But I would say that we are pretty good about communicating about like what we don't annoy each other.
Yeah,
Typically, I don't think.
no. If we
Because
do,
like,
it's on purpose.
yes. So we usually don't have problems like that where like we're tired of each other.
Yeah.
Um, I've never
And
experienced
like,
that with you.
yeah, we're very like and not even just like the communication thing, we're very good at reading each other too, especially in person. So if I get the vibe that she wants to be left alone, I'm gonna sit on the corner of the couch and I'm just gonna be on my phone. I'm not gonna talk to her until she talks to me or I need to tell her something that I've seen on Instagram or something. I don't know.
And like typically with that, then like I'll realize that she's sitting on the side and she thinks that I might be upset or something or like annoyed, whatever, if I want to be left alone, which usually, we just coexist with each other. I just
Yeah.
go and then like we'll just like put our feet on each other or we'll like lay across each other and then we just
Yeah.
exist together.
Yeah.
I she's like
We have
one of the you're one of the only people in the world that does not annoy me after like an extended period of time because we just get
thanks.
it. We just
I'm
get it.
honored. Yeah. And I don't think we've ever had a fight either. Like,
No,
no, but I say we've never actually had a fight. I
I
think there have
don't
been
think
times
so.
where we've been like a little peeved with each other, but I don't think we've ever actually had a full-on fight. We kind of just
No.
talked it out or just let the feelings like fizzle out.
Yeah, I don't even, I can't remember a single time I've like actually been irritated with you about anything.
Mm.
Can't even remember.
There was one time that I was irritated with you, and I think you know what it is. You might have forgotten about it though.
I probably forgot about it.
So it was when you told me that you knew to break up with me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah.
I was
Yeah.
annoyed.
Yeah.
I was pretty mad at you at the time. Now I don't care. I'm just like, okay. But at the time I was very mad.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that was really the only time. Other like that's yeah.
I, for context for everybody, I'm just gonna keep it in.
Okay.
I I worked with this dude and I thought that he would be cute for her. So I like set them up, whatever. They went on dates, do 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 do. They were together for probably like 2 months. And he was a creepazoid. He was a creepazoid, and I didn't realize that he was a creepazoid because I was friends with him. And he had told me like that day that he was going to break up with her. And he initially was just going to text you and break up with you. And I was like, don't be an asshole. Who does that? Now, years later, I should have just left it alone and let him just break up with you over text because whatever.
Yeah, I would
Then you
have
wouldn't have
preferred
had to
that.
see him the last
I
time.
would have
But,
well, no, I would have had to see him because I had his hoodie.
oh, well, you know
I
what?
would have had to see him
So,
again.
I told him that he needed to like go and talk to her and like tell her face to face, like, hey, because like don't be a dickhead and just be like, yeah, let me break up with you over text. Because I had that happen to me.
Yeah.
Well, no. Was it over text? No. It was over the phone. It was over the phone. He broke up with me. He was like, "Yeah, I can't do this anymore." I was like, "Okay." And then I had to see him at work the next day. I walk up and he's standing outside the building and he was standing with one of my friends and I felt like such an idiot. I felt like a
I
dumbass. I
mean,
was like 19.
okay, okay. But would you prefer to be broken up over text, over the phone, or have your friend break up with them for you? Break up with you for them?
Listen. So technically, I had one of our friends in middle school break up with a boy for me in the cafeteria.
You did that for me too.
I did. I broke up with a boy for her. I So for mine, I was dating this dude, and no hard feelings. And to put it into the universe, Matt is aware that I check up on him like once every couple of years to see what he's doing. I will not be mentioning his name, but the last time I checked up on him, like a year ago, he is like living in tents, traveling the US with his dog, and he's a SoundCloud musician.
My God.
Is that where I thought he would end up in life? No. Just
No.
living out of tents and traveling the US. But yes, Matt is aware that I check up on him every once in a while because I'm like, oh, this was my middle school blah blah. Obviously I'm marrying Matthew, so it's not a problem because he's told me he was in like a long relationship before he was with me. He has checked up on her before and he told me, she found someone, she's really happy. I think they're engaged, blah blah blah. And I'm like, cool. It's not like he's talking to the chick. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was middle school and he was a year younger than me and I thought he was weird at first. So I had my friend break up with him for me and we're sitting at the cafeteria and I'm facing this way and she's like turned around and she's talking to him and she's like, "Yeah, Bianca wants to break up with you." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And all his friends were like, "Oh, she broke up with you."
Oh no.
And then literally a couple months later, I was like, I kind of miss him though. And then we got back together.
I mean, I did the same thing. It's okay because the guy that she broke up with for me, we dated in eighth grade. We dated for about like what, 3 months. And then a couple years later, I dated him again junior year. And then I broke up with him over text. It was the night that I sprained my wrist too.
The universe said, screw you.
Oh, and
It
now
said,
he got married in his backyard. It's fine.
he got married in his backyard. Good for him.
I'm still friends with his mom on Facebook.
I don't think I'm friends with really anybody that knew my ex. So
Mm.
I'm trying to get away from all of that. That was in my Bible thumping days. That was a whole mess. But yeah, I got
Say
back
that.
with this dude, and I think we were together for a couple months, and then I was like, man, I really don't know. And then I got in like big trouble because my dad found out about it, and I got grounded. And I technically have never been ungrounded. I could still be grounded. However, my
Uh,
dad is a dickhead, and I don't
mm,
speak to him, so it doesn't matter. And if he ever sees this, yes, that is how I feel.
mhm.
Um, Will he ever watch this? No, because he's a dickhead. But yeah, we were together for like a couple months after that, and then I broke up with him again. And he told me he was like, "Okay, just know that this is the last time, and if we ever if you ever want to get with me again, it's not happening because you broke my heart." I was like, "I'm sorry." And I think about that on a regular basis. I'm like, I ruined this boy's life. I broke his heart. And then, I don't know, maybe 5 or so years ago, I had checked up on him and he was with this girl and they were really cute and I was really happy for him. And then I checked up maybe 2 years later and they had broken up. And I was like, no. And now he's living out of a tent.
I mean, that's
I,
okay. The boy that I was infatuated with but never really dated has a kid with the person that he was in love with at the time. Oh,
don't you
it
just love that?
and you know what? Funny thing is, that was the one that traumatized me the most.
I love that we have somehow ended up here from
Yeah. I
Am I the asshole for telling my brother that he's going to be a shit dad? To here are all of our relationship problems we've had.
You know what?
Stop it. It's fine. Don't even worry about it.
It's fine.
For those of you that enjoy knowing about my cats, I have two of them in here. I have both of my ladies, Clementine and Cinnamon. They are in the room. They may make an appearance, but I know at least one of our listeners, hi Diana, will enjoy just knowing that the cats are existing near
Mm.
us. This one is a bit lengthy. It's a bit lengthy. Yes, she's looking at me. Look at her. She said, no, don't look at me. Oh, she's there. It's a cinnamon. She said, okay, I'm gonna sit here now. Oh my God. Gotta go fix this. This is what I get for having a crappy webcam. But you know what? Diana, you get to say cinnamon. Show your face. What are you doing? Hi. Hello. I saw my baby girl. You're welcome. Okay. We know that I get distracted by these cats constantly. Okay. Am I the asshole for telling my sister-in-law that her family can't stay? What are you doing? At my beach house anymore, even though they helped build it.
I'm
I'm
going
30.
to assume that the family did something.
Family might have done something.
They might have done something.
I'm 31 and my husband is 38. We live about 3 hours away from my sister-in-law's family. In parentheses, her husband, 2 kids. A few years ago, my husband and I bought a really rundown property on the coast, a couple hours from where we live. I wanted to make a project of fixing it up. My husband liked the idea and was happy to support it, but it was mostly my project. I really put a lot of effort into fixing it as cheaply as possible, went over and stayed there for many nights and literally did a lot of the construction, in parentheses. My husband came and helped about half the time. I sourced recycled wood and such, so almost all the materials are found in some way. Once it was partially finished, I thought I could enlist my sister-in-law's help, so I told her about this project and asked if she wanted to come stay over for a few days with her family and help finish up the work. She brought her kids and husband and slept on the deck and did things like the painting and building some furniture, etc. When it was finished, it was really beautiful. We started renting it out on Airbnb and have had good success with that so far. I did say that my sister-in-law's family could come stay anytime because they helped with it. There's 2 parts to the house that have separate kitchens and bathrooms, so we've kept the top for us and sister-in-law's family and the bottom for Airbnb. Last week, they were there at the same time as some paid guests. I got a complaint from the guests afterward that my sister-in-law's kids had made fun of their kids and that my sister-in-law told them that this was their house, so the guests don't get to dictate how their kids behave. I asked my sister-in-law about this, and she said their kids wanted to play with the guests' kids on the beach, and the guests' kids tried to ask her kids to leave them alone, but they wouldn't. They were playing volleyball, and her kids were much better and rightly proud of it. I got pissed, and I told her she wasn't allowed to stay there anymore if she can't be considerate of the fact that this is also a business, and you can't be an ass to customers or anyone. Now she says I'm an asshole because I promised she could stay anytime.
Not the asshole. No.
That's the consensus, but
Because, like,
eh,
first of all, I started building this house. Who are you to tell me what to do with my house? If I don't want you to stay in my house anymore, you're not going to stay in my house. Get out, get your kids, and leave. And then, how are you? How are you going to let your kids bully someone else's kids and just be? terrible in general. And also, guests don't get to dictate my children. If your children are being mean and being assholes, control your kids, and maybe the guests won't have to dictate how to behave, how they need to behave. If you don't
Beach.
parent your kids, the world will parent your kids, and the world is terrible. So,
Don't be an
get,
asshole and make people deal
yeah,
with your asshole children.
get your kids under control.
A lot of the people in the comments are like, oh, a deal is a deal, but, you ruined this because you're fucking up their business, da 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 da. Da. And yeah, I totally get it. But also to be like, oh, you tell me I could stay anytime. But also to tell guests, this is my house.
Yeah. No,
It's
it's
not
not.
your house.
No.
Wow, you painted and you built some furniture. This other person literally completely redid this whole house. And
Yeah,
you're gonna say, this is
they
my
bought the
house.
house, they rebuilt it, they got most of it done, and then asked you to help on the tail end. So how are you gonna say it's your house?
I'd be like, get the fuck out of my house anyway. Don't be like
Eviction
that.
notice, restraining order, something.
Get
Get
out
out
of
of my
my
house.
house. Don't be mean to other people's kids. Like, come on, you
Yeah.
suck.
Yeah.
You suck. You're the asshole.
And like other children have the right to tell other children to
To
leave
leave
them
them
alone.
alone.
I don't want to play with you. Like, what?
Like, I'm
Are
not
you?
gonna make my kids play with your kids if
No.
my kids don't want to play with your kids, because they probably don't want to play with your kids for a reason. Because you
Yeah.
suck.
Yeah. And then your kids suck. So, like,
They're better at volleyball and rightfully proud of it.
gross. Gross.
You're icky.
Okay. This, my next one's kind of a short, kind of cute, funny one. Um, at least I think it's kind of funny. Just because of like my opinion on it. But am I the asshole for trying to spoon feed my girlfriend ice cream in order to be romantic?
Okay.
Okay. My girlfriend Lisa and I are in our late 20s. We were dining at a restaurant yesterday evening. We we bought ice creams. I thought it would be romantic to feed her with my spoon, so I scooped one out and brought it to her mouth, waiting for her reaction. I want to say that I did not force it or shove it down her mouth or down her throat. I just wanted to see whether she wanted it. Um, she looked weird and then said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Feeding you ice cream." She replied by saying, "Do you think I'm a child and cannot eat for myself? I'm not a baby, for fuck's sake." I was shocked and then she said, "I'm not your baby doll or pet thing." Quite a few people had heard, and I guess my disappointment showed. And she said, "And you look so put down," that I said no. I honestly find it insulting that you think I should be treated like a child. We had an argument and she left and is not talking to me now. Did I do anything wrong? Am I the asshole?
What a mean person.
I
So,
know.
literally, if your immediate reaction to being fed is, oh, you think I'm a child, you think that I'm not capable of feeding myself, I think that you're projecting and you probably think that you're a child and you're not mature enough, whatever. That's ridiculous. Your boyfriend was trying to be cute. Matt feeds me all the time. Literally, we just went to dinner and he was like, oh, do you want a piece of my steak? And I was like, yeah. And he gave me a piece of his steak. He fed me from his fork. We've been together for 6 years. We eat from the same utensils sometimes. He gives me ice cream, like if I want to try his and he wants to try mine, whatever. Like it's not a big deal. For
Yeah.
you to flip out that seriously is ridiculous. And then be mean to him. You need to break up with her. She's mean. That would hurt my feelings.
Yeah. There's one that says, not the asshole, however, I think it's so fucking funny. I'm sorry. I think it's just a consequence of the current time we're living in. I lift my car hood to refill the washer fluid, and 20 men appeared out of the bushes asking me if I need help. I know how to pour liquid. Thanks, though. grown women are often talked down to like toddlers, so we can be sensitive to this sometimes. But it sounds like you saw it in a movie and tried it out in real life, which is pretty funny. I think it's cute. I
Yeah.
would accept it. I think it's cute. I think it's funny. I would do it. But however, I did find a comment after scrolling, and it says, "This is a rewrite of a prior post. In my opinion, you're the asshole." So I clicked on the link to go to the other post. The post has been removed, so I can't actually
Oh.
look at it. I don't know if it's not the same account. So I'm looking at the comments just to see what other
Not
people
the
are saying.
tea. The
So
tea.
so the general consensus on this post, which is, am I the asshole for treating my wife like a child by feeding her food with my hands? Is that
Uh,
OP is the asshole. This top
okay.
comment says, she told you she didn't like it, and instead of accepting her answer, you said she was overthinking. Just because you think something is romantic does not mean your partner does. Pro tip, when someone says they don't like something, believe them, especially if you're married to them. Um, and then someone quoted something that OP said, but she said that it was that she found it insulting. I responded by saying she's overthinking it. And she was like, if you cannot be bothered asking me for permission beforehand, it's your problem. That resulted in an argument. Um, Another comment after getting additional info from you, you're the asshole. You just went on a few dates and it's not some sort of love at first sight situation. It's an arranged marriage way too much too fast.
Well, in that
So,
case, you kind of are an asshole.
yeah. So I don't know if it's the same person and they use different accounts, but if it is a rewrite and they're trying to get sympathy points and trying to get like a better like result, then yeah, you're the asshole.
I hate when people do that. It's like,
I
dude,
know.
just take the L and go.
I know.
We don't
Especially like
like
when
you.
people figure it out. So like there's no real way for me to see if like it's the same person. However, some people are saying that this post sounds really familiar. Um, I think I've read this before. And there are some people who are saying, ew, I wouldn't find it romantic, and neither would people in the restaurant. Okay, don't be Debbie Downers. It's cute. Mind your own business. Stay out of my relationship then. Don't look
Mind
if you
your own
think it's gross.
business.
Thinking it's romantic, imagine thinking it is romantic to baby a woman by trying to spoon feed her like she's a child. I don't think that's not what they were getting at. Some people say
No,
the ick. Um,
I mean,
yeah. So
depends on how close you are. Like, it sounds like they hadn't been together very long.
yeah,
So it's like a whole misconstrued situation. And yeah, like when you're together for a while, like that's not a big deal. They
yeah,
probably were like baby relationship.
yeah. Well, the further I scroll, the more it seems like everyone's kind of split. Like some people are saying that it's gross and that they don't find it cute or funny or
Hmm.
romantic, and then other people are like, you probably saw this in a movie and wanted to try it out and thought it was cute or funny
Yeah.
or something. I mean, I personally wouldn't mind it as long as you don't do it 20,000 times in a row.
Yeah.
Like as long as it's not a constant thing and it's just ice cream, I don't see what the big deal is.
Yeah.
Um, there is one that says everybody sucks. So let's
Okay.
see. Um, I'm torn on this one, but I'd put it at a very mild everyone sucks here. You don't try to feed people unless you know they are into it. That is something that people are very split on. They either have no problem with it at all and think it's cute or find it extremely awkward, uncomfortable, bordering on gross. You just found out that your date falls into the second category. You should have asked before or at least made it clear to her that you were doing what you were doing before the spoon got to her mouth. You put her in a very awkward situation by actually raising it to her lips, even if you didn't shove it into her mouth. She overreacted due to being put in said awkward situation. Your actions warranted an ew, no, a not happening, a no followed by a strange look and her backing away from you, etc. Her rant would have made sense if you were pushy, but it doesn't seem like you were. I do think, however, that she was trying to give you an out with the first, what are you doing? She was signaling that she was not okay with the situation and giving you a chance to change course, but you interpreted as her actually asking the question. So maybe she interpreted your response as doubling down on the feeding thing, causing her reaction. It was still over the top, though.
I get that, yeah. That's a pretty good explanation. Because like if you don't know someone, like I think when Matt and I first started dating, it was probably along the lines of like you take a spoonful, you look at the person, you raise your eyebrows, you want some?
Yeah. Yeah, or
You
like you
say
kind of
yes, you
like
say no.
midway over the table, not just like straight up to their lips, but like halfway over the table, like you want to try it. Hmm?
Maybe? Mm.
Yeah.
So I get that.
Yeah, I
I
get
don't know,
it.
man.
But for me personally, I'm gonna say not the asshole just because of like my own view of it. But
Yeah. I think it's fine. I don't know.
yeah,
I'm kind of mixed because now I'm like, is this person a troll?
I know, me too. But I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, which means that I am too nice of a person and say that maybe it's a different person and they're not the same person and it's just some guy who watched a romance movie and thought it would be funny and kind of cute, silly, quirky kind of thing. But if it does come out later that it is the same person, then yeah, you're the asshole. Goodbye. I don't have time for
I
liars.
I have my last one,
Mhm.
and this one's long, and I
Okay.
also have not read it all the way through.
I haven't read
I
any of mine
read
all the way through.
I kind of skimmed the other ones because I was like, okay, I kind of want to generally know what it is. Like, I want to see if it's interesting enough to talk about it. This one, I read the title and I was like, yeah, yeah, we're
Okay.
gonna do this one.
Hit me with it.
Am I the asshole for not wanting to pay for my sister's wig after I called her a bald headed broke bitch? What do you think? Before we even get into it, what do you think?
So,
You bald headed broke bitch.
so out of, but that's so out of left field. Um,
All of ours have been pretty like, you know,
I,
and this one's like, you bald headed broke bitch. Like
I,
that one audio of the voicemail. You
oh
nasty,
yeah,
stanky,
this is
smelling
for
ass
Rachel.
bitch.
Yeah, this is
Oompa
for Rachel.
loompa
You,
body ass bitch.
yeah. Um, I, I, I honestly don't know. I'm gonna say for now that they both suck.
Very fair. My 17 male sister, 18 female, decided to get a pixie cut. She's had it for about 2 weeks now, and now she hates it. She came to me and told me that it's embarrassing my hair is longer than hers and she wants me to shave my head. I haven't read any of this, okay? I had told her that I would not shave my head and that if she doesn't like how her hair is, she should just get a wig instead. She told me that she doesn't have money to buy a wig, and so I told her to ask our parents to get her one. And she told me that she wasn't going to do that because they were the ones who advised her not to cut her hair in the first place, and it'll be embarrassing to admit that they were right. She then again asked me to cut my hair, and I told her no. She then got mad at me and told me that no man actually cared about their hair, and if I wanted to be a girl so bad, I should just say that instead. This pissed me off, so I told her that it wasn't my fault. She was a bald headed broke bitch, and if she wanted to get a wig, she should just get a job instead. She, she was not happy when I called her bald headed and went to go tell our parents. Our parents got mad at both of us for arguing, and then after they got done yelling at us, my dad told me that he wants me to pay for my sister's wig. He told me that I had to pay for her wig because what I said to her was disrespectful. He said what she said was wrong, but what I said was worse. I told him that I only said that because she kept antagonizing me. He kept insisting that me paying for the wig was going to be my punishment and he'll think of something for her. I told him that I've been saving my money since I started working and I wasn't going to spend any of it on her. I told my dad that if he takes money out of my account, that I wasn't going to speak to him until he puts everything back, because knowing my sister, she's probably going to try and pick the most expensive one. My parents are upset with me because they said I'm trying to run away from accountability and that they find it unreasonable that I would try and punish them for that. I'm trying to run away from accountability and that they find it unreasonable that I would try and punish them for that. There's a question mark. I was confused. I don't see why they can't pay for it themselves. She's just mad that I called her bald headed.
No, no, not the
God.
asshole.
The Oh my god! This thread is now locked due to an excess of rule violations. Oh my god, it's from 5 days ago. So the consensus up at the top, it says not the asshole poo mode? POO mode? What does that mean? Proctologists only orifices. This is a new flair we will be applying to posts with a high volume of rule violating comments that will restrict participation to only trusted community members.
Oh,
So many people were in the comments breaking the rules that they said, no, only trusted individuals. You're getting pooed. Stop it. So,
that's amazing.
oh my gosh. I'm looking for comments. So buy her a clown wig, one each for your dad and mom too. And someone else said, you just said buy a wig. You didn't say it had to be a good one. I
Well, I
my
mean,
parents
okay, it's her fault for cutting her hair,
she
but
just
like,
mad she bald headed.
and like, I get like wanting to cut your hair and wanting to express yourself, but like, that's a big chop, and we don't know how long her hair was before. And as someone who took pride and joy in my hair, like I loved it before I chopped it off up to my shoulders. It, I hated the idea of having short hair. So I, I don't, depending on how long it was, for her to go from really long to a pixie cut, unless she was absolutely sure about it, I think she should have gotten a pixie cut wig first to see if
Mm-hmm.
she liked it
That's her
instead
own
of
damn fault.
going to a straight pixie cut.
But then also to be like, no, I'm not going to ask our parents because they're the ones that told me not to cut my hair in the first place. Girl, you
Yeah.
done fucked up. It ain't nobody's fault but your own that you cut all your goddamn hair off. And then to be like, oh, your hair's longer than mine. You need to cut it off. You cannot make
Yeah,
anyone else
no,
do anything with their body that they don't want to.
absolutely
Bodily
not.
autonomy. If he doesn't want to cut his hair, he doesn't have to. But then also to be like, oh, if you want to be a girl, just say that. Excuse you, icky. Now you're in the realm of you're a super asshole and you sound like you're transphobic. Whether or not this person is trans, maybe they just want to have long hair. Screw you. You're just mad that you're bald headed and you're broke. You didn't like your haircut and you made it everybody's problem. It ain't nobody's problem but your own. There are people in the comments. Someone says, go for one of those party wigs, tinsel mullet, red clown curls, comb over. Someone said, a Joe Dirt mullet would be great too. Or buy a bald cap. But she's already bald headed.
She already bald headed.
She already bald headed. I
Bald headed. She broke.
She broke. She rude. She transphobic. She mean. And her mama and her daddy suck too. Damn. Like, you suck. You're an asshole. Like, not even
Yeah,
just like, am I the asshole? You suck, dude. You're mean.
yeah. Let your brother do what he wants with his life. It's not his fault.
And then for the dad to be like, yeah, I'm gonna take the money out of your account. Motherfucker, don't touch my money.
Say you
Go to
touch my
police.
like, especially if you saved it up. Like, what? Don't touch my money,
You want a
sir.
wig so damn bad? Go buy yourself a wig. Shut up. I cannot.
I do not have any more, so we are going to end this episode here. And
On
I hope
the bald headed
on
broke
the
bitch.
yep.
The bald headed broke bitch. That's a good place to end.
It's a good place to end. It's a funny note, and we're having a good laugh about it. Um, I hope you guys enjoyed learning about both our opinions on how people are assholes and our past relationship stuff. That was a fun little detour we took. We are available on Spotify, YouTube, depending on whether or not you want to see our faces and or our co-hosts that sometimes appear in the background. And we will catch you on the flip side in the next episode. Goodbye.
Goodbye.